know people used to say funding, funding, funding. I want to get fund. I want to get. But honestly, I currently consult for non-profit. I work with a consulting firm, high-level NGOs that they pay big time, but NGOs that are just coming up, they don't really have the money to pay. And I found out that not-for-profit space, they don't really know the benefits that profit organization. Why do you think they thrive? It's because they have all the resources aside from funding. They have consultants that consult for them. They have strategies. They have corporate strategies. They have business strategies. They have management strategies. They have organization strategies. That we like. If I go for my strategy meetings, we can be there for 2 weeks because we want to plan the 5 year of how an organization should scale or how they should do one thing or the other, or if they want to branch into another business. We are there for 2 weeks brainstorming. That is how those corporate organizations thrive. And I told myself, okay, you can do all these skills. Why not just take it into not-for-profit space? Funny enough, it's not something that is really appreciated yet. I'm sure you can agree with me, Gracious.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Passion is okay. I love passion. At least it was passion that made me left my job and say I want to go and work in a non-for-profit space. But aside from passion, what else can you bring on board that donors will see? I tell people that see donors as investors. Don't just see them as if they are giving their money for free. Return on investment, ROI. That's what investors we want. But if donors, we want to see the impacts. So over the years, now that I now consult for few non-for-profit organizations, whenever they come, they're always, I want funding, I want funding, I want funding. I can't have fund, I don't access funding. And when you now sit them down and ask them questions on things like what did they do, how did they do the things they do, you will now find out that they are very passionate, but most of the time their vision is not clear. They don't even have a story attached to what they want to do. And those are the issues. Your vision is not clear, your mission statement is not clear, you don't even have an understanding of what you want to do. Money should not really be a problem if you have a core why that is driving you and you can explain it well. Investors will see it, donors will see it. So most of the issue that we have is because you cannot really explain what you want to do. And another thing is we don't even have a clear standard operating procedure, SOPs. If I ask people doing NGO work here now that do you have SOPs? I'm serious. I don't know if we have people on board here. Most people don't have SOPs. They just do their program as they come. It is how will I even put it? They are more reactive.
Hmm.
They just want to do program, they want to do program, they want to do program, but their program is not structured. They don't have, okay, this is for the organization I currently work with. We use volunteers for our projects. If you want to say, how will I do projects, there's a document I will send to you. Just read this document. There's steps on how to go about it. We have resources that you need to get on board to do. So those are the things donors will see and be able to say, okay, there's structure in place. So people don't even have clear cut roles and responsibilities for the organization. No organization structure at all. So I know we are doing good, but you need to do good well. You need to do it right for people to be able to see what you are doing and understand that you and know that you understand what you are doing. You are not just working anyhow because you want to work. So funding should not really be a problem, honestly. I know funding is an issue, but it shouldn't really be a problem if you are doing what you're supposed to do well. Some people don't even have board of trustees. And another thing is people don't have clear cut problem statements.
Hmm.
You don't really know the problem you are solving. You're just passionate. And there are 20 million out of school children in Nigeria. I need to take out of all the out of school children house. You don't even understand the problem. Did they send you that they want to go back to school? Did you ask them what they want? No, you just assume they should go back to school and you took them back to school. I said before you chase funding, you need to get rooted. Funding should be after. But all these things need to be in place before KLCI start attracting funding. There are a lot of things we have done. We have paid from our pocket. We have leveraged on individual donors. I think we'll talk about options, funding options. There are a lot of alternatives aside from grants that people are not pursuing. I have a friend, I'm sure everybody will know him. Julius Ilori is the president of Mandela Washington Fellowship. I had a conversation with him because I know he has passion, he does NGO. He now told me he has transitioned into social enterprise model. I
Hmm.
was like, why? Did you lose your passion? He said, no, my passion is still intact, but my passion needs to be funded. So he discovered that he's still doing charity, quote and unquote, but he has a revenue model. So it does not really depend on donors. Now donors are now pursuing him because they see the impact it's making. Somebody was telling me about one organization that a donor has been funding for the past 7 years. Like annually, they look for them. They tell them, we are doing another funding scheme this year again. It's our funding season this year. Please send in a proposal. They will always get it. Why? Because they've seen the results, they've seen what they can deliver. So the question is, can you even deliver? Beyond, we are going to school to reach out to 1,000 people. 1,000 unrestricted grants. And I used to advise people pursue those kind of grants. Unrestricted grant that they will not say, if you have extra money, return to them, that they will invest in your operations, in your administration, in your leadership capability. Those are the kind of grants you should chase after. So I was strict on budget. Some things you don't need to spend money on. Some things, what are the things you can leverage partnership on? What are the things you can actually get partners that you can share costs? They wrote us back that since they've been funding organization, we're actually the first NGO that will send impact reports and financial statements to them. So funders want to see that they can trust you with their money. If you want to do a project, why are we paying for all? What happens to is there no community all? Of course, we have other projects we are doing, but for that particular grant project that we got this grant for, I ensure that I spread it across 3 years, strict on budget, cut unnecessary things. We empower our volunteers such that they can do some things for us. Cut down unnecessary things. What is your unrestricted grant? Instead of keeping the money in the bank, you can actually invest it. Invest in crypto because you need to be sure that it's very liquid, such that when you need your money back, you can get it. Invest in something that after 1 year, after 6 months, you remove it back and do your project. I think those are the options we need to start thinking. Like, we need to think beyond grants. We need to be very creative.
So, talking about the effect in our country, in Pakistan, it is a very big change. I would say that it is the 845 million dollars we are talking about that has been cut down from our aid from the Pakistan projects. Hello, hello, Gracious.
Hi, sorry.
Everyone is doing great, and it has been amazing to join you guys here, since we are all talking about the global impact of all these things that are going on. And so, about my country in Pakistan, I would say that it is a tangible change, and I cannot say it enough that how much this change is going to affect the Pakistan's education and all the other areas that need some work to do. We are all here as an advocates. We are the youth for our countries, but not I have been involved in many organizations, not in my country but also globally. I have worked many of you people for your countries. I've had a great time with the people and from Nigeria. So it is less likely to say that we are here to discuss about the effect on the our countries specifically, but more about how it is changing and how it is affecting globally. And I see that these changes are not doing any good to us, especially for our coming generations as well. I get to know more about the countries. I get to know about more people like you, to work with you, to have the more impact we can possibly do, because this is the culminative efforts that we are doing, that they can possibly do some good. So, talking about the effect in our country, in Pakistan, it is a very big change. I would say that it is the 845 million dollars we are talking about that has been cut down from our aid from the Pakistan projects. So, you can imagine that how much of a big effect it is. And I'm no one to say that, okay, this is not a big deal and we can look for the other ways, because I mean, it is a big deal. Okay, US said for the Pakistan, it has never been, string free. The US head has come to our country with strings attached always. It is never the free money, but the compromises our country makes, it's worth making. In Hunza in Pakistan, there was the area that was affected, by disasters, and US aid provided, a great help, in building the hostels for girls, in building the, sector schools for education for the children. I mean, it is, I mean, wow, it is not negotiable to make any sacrifices for the, what they have been doing for us, for the US aid, So I would say that although that we have been pushed a little bit, but it is all worth doing. We are developing countries, and we need these projects. I cannot speak enough that how much this cut off, this halt to the US aid has done damage. Even though, yeah, right now, I mean, it has not been that long and we are still suffering. So, but Mary gave amazing points about the NGOs and how to run them. And the amazing point she said that if you are doing what you're doing well, I mean, you don't have to fight for it. It will come to you. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you know what you're doing, I mean, you don't have to try that hard. You don't have to compete. That was amazing point, Mary. By the way, I really appreciate you. That we do not have to compete. We have to collaborate on that, because the our mission is same. Hey, so what are we competing for? So I mean, if something good is to be done to a society, so it doesn't matter if it's me doing or it's someone else doing. We both are trying to do it. So it's better if we both combine our efforts and funding and do it even more better. How's about that? So it is amazing, Mary. I really get that point, and it was really rich with the insight. I think there has been a 90-day period. Their motto is very simple. It's the campaign of America first. Okay, we all know what Donald Trump is trying to do. It's America first. So it's just that what he's trying to do is that putting his country first. I mean, for us, they don't need anything, but there are some issues for them to solve, so they just cut off everything that is, have been going for the foreign funding. So they just want to make their country even more prosper. Hell, they are developed, and now what the new president is trying to do is make it even better. So I mean, it is our loss, but they have no remorse. It is ours. So Gracious was right that we have to look into more directions. If we have our NGOs running, what do we have to do? We have to diversify our revenues right now. Okay, we have technologies, we can reach many people. Gracious, you have done really amazing work, posting that little boy's story. You have done really great. I mean, this shows that you just had to do what you are doing very nice way. Okay, and you really helped him. He needed that. Okay, and it was simple. It was just a post. You didn't do much.
Thank you
You
so much.
didn't travel the countries
Thank
to
you.
ask for it. You just did a post. It is as simple as that. So all of us, whatever our NGO is, you are married, you had amazing point that it is patient. Okay, and the patient in the right direction. Okay, we as long as our patient is aligns with our vision and strategies, there's nothing that is holding us back. And about funding, the collaboration part was amazing. Make more friends, make more, or the collaborate with organizations rather than being in the fear of being left out. Okay, you're not being left out if what you are trying to do is being done even with your friend organization. That is well. Okay, okay, for example, I'm trusting Gracious, so I will ask the Gracious that you have to show me your work. Is it impactful? Is it promising? Do I see future in it? Okay, so I will ask for it, because, and I have right to do that, because it's my money. I'm from the rural areas of the Pakistan. Okay, I've seen ups and downs. Okay, mostly downs. And the girls' education, about the girls' education, I'm advocate for the girls' education, because I've seen a lot of these things in my own life. Okay, I have been through a lot of downs to get to this point. My education, my other activities, they have been all involved with some rebelling, of course. Okay, and that has been amazing for me, and I'm really proud of it. But this is not the case for every girl in my community. So I speak for them. Okay, and I show this promising work wherever I go. I want funding. I mean, I have to show them my work, my genuine interest, my genuine self. If we try to do something right, there is nothing that can stop us.
That's true.
That is the true thing. Okay, we are unstoppable people, and there is nothing that can stop this. I mean, US funding, okay, fine, okay, it was great, but that cannot stop our motto and our passion. So yeah.
So one question that I always ask people is, because when people want to start maybe a charity foundation and they come to me like they want to go to the streets, they want to maybe give people food and all of that. I'm like, okay, are there organizations that are already doing this that you can actually work with? You don't need to start something entirely new. You already have organizations that are doing incredible things. So, just meet with them, write your proposal. Can we work with you in this social space? So I'm just going to cite an example. At Bramble, we started a new learning center. I think that was 2 years ago. So we had we had another organization that was interested in what we are doing, and she decided that she was going to collaborate with us, and she was the one that hired the first set of educators that worked with us. So do you have organizations that are already doing what you are doing, instead of wanting to start something entirely new? Because that is one of the plague of our generation. Like, everybody wants to start something. You want to have something to your name. It's good, but then you can also think about partnering with organization, doing something that you would like to do. That's the reason why you need strategic plan. You don't need to be looking for fund for every project that you want to do. How many projects do you do in a year? Let's assume that you have 10 projects in a year. Are you going to look for fund for this particular project, another one? Like, it's going to be a lot of stress. So when we look for fund, we get fund for the next 10 years. If we are doing 10 years strategic plan, if we are doing 5 years, so that we don't have to panic if no fund is coming in the next 3 years. We know that we are fine. It's important that your team members carry your vision as much as you do. So, because you are not going to be the only one marketing, you are not going to be the only one marketing what you do in your organization. Let your team members carry the vision that you hold esteem in your heart. And there's this example that someone always give. There was somebody that went to NASA in the US, and the person wanted to meet with one of the top officers in the organization, and he met with the gate man at the entrance, and he was asking the gate man that, okay, what do you do here? And the way the gate man talked about what they do in NASA, you would think that is the head, like is the oga patapata. So it's very important. Let your team member know what you do. They should not be asking your team member outside that, okay, what do you do? And it's just like, I don't even know, but I know that we work with children, we work with girls, we work it's going to be a disaster on your own. And that means that you're going to be the one, to shoulder everything. Man was talking about the fact that one of the problems that we have in Africa is the fact that non-profits, we depend so much on international grantors. So, like, the dependency is and that is why it was so obvious. The gap was so obvious when USAID withdrew their funding. So, why we can actually fund ourselves, maybe not 100%, but if you are working with the SDG, the sustainable the sustainable development goals, you should think sustainability. Do you understand? Think sustainability. How do you sustain your fund when nobody is ready to fund you any longer? Are you still going to continue? Because that is the major thing. So how sustainable is your organization? And that's going to take me to the social enterprise. So you can actually diversify your revenue. You can think about other ways that is going to bring you that's going to bring money into your organization. So let's say, for example, you are in the agriculture development space. How about you probably just develop a new strategy that is going to help farmers to do well, and you sell that idea, and people just want to fund you. Social entrepreneur, you are a social impact innovator. What exactly are you innovating? It is not just innovating projects. Do you understand? What are you innovating? What can you do? You are you own a non-profit. What skill do you have? Do you understand, that can help you to make money that you are going to pump back into? Because the fact that you're a non-profit does not mean that you're not going to make money, right? It does not mean that you can't make money. I think we also make that mistake most of the time. You can make money. The difference between a for-profit organization and not-for-profit or a social enterprise is that the money that you are making in your social enterprise, you are pumping it back into your own organization, strengthening your monitoring and evaluation. Very important. For us, we carry out our impact report 6 months after we have done a particular project. So that is how we note our impact. Your impact is not immediately. Your impact is later on, like 6 months, 3 months later about it. So think impact and be transparent with your funding. Be very transparent, because I think last week I was trying to apply for a grant from their ward, and they were asking, by the way, my global youth ambassador people, I clap for you. So yeah, I was once a global youth ambassador. So I was trying to apply, and they were asking that they were asking for last year financial reports, 2 years ago financial year, and I was like, kilo day. Do you get? But it's actually important, because they want to know what you have been using your money for. They want to know how you are going to spend the one that they are going to give to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. Hello, everyone. I hope you are well today. First, I just want to say that I agree with the previous speakers. I agree in the fact that Africa has really relied on the USAID. So, for example, if you take into consideration Zimbabwe actually used the USAID of about 360 million. And in South Africa, we're relying on the USAID for intervention to help those who have AIDS as well. So with the way forward, Africa actually needs to remove, it was about time that Africa actually removes USAID as a crutch. Because when you use something as a crutch for so long, you forget that you can actually walk. So now what we need to do is we need to be able to walk. So to walk, we all need to collaborate, we need to talk to each other. That's the first stage. The second stage is we need to trust one another. We need to trust in our communities. We need to trust and be able to use what we have studied. So that's another problem with the youth as well. We need to use what we've studied, but we can't, because unemployment is high. The opportunities for the jobs that you would have studied for, they are full. So when it comes to applying for funding and all those things, a lot of the youth now are turning to entrepreneurship to bridge that gap, which is the gap that we need to fix. So I do agree with all the previous speakers, and I was initially inspired by Mary, who said that our visions need to be clear, because the area of asking for funding is very vague. It's the fact that the youth are now trying to create their own thing, and maybe the same thing is there. And instead of creating, we must now collaborate with what is already existing. Say, as we are relying on social media, our social media gurus who are in here graciously have a large following, and I'm sure there are a lot more people here who have a large following as well, to sort of provide guidance as well, since we are all here, as to how people can maximize their network. As it is affecting Africa, Africa has used USAID as a crutch. So now that crutch has been removed. So I'm hoping that Africa will now begin to be producers and manufacturers. China is such a big tycoon because they're producers, they're manufacturers. Anything you see, it's made in China. So yes, there might be products that they've copied off of, but they're manufacturers. So they know that even in their own country, people are going to buy. So they won't be without money. So now Africa must now be a manufacturer, a producer. We must produce and manufacture, and we must buy our own products as well, and work on that after trade that we've been working on for years to implement and make it work. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for giving me the chance to talk. I know it was short, 8 minutes. I hope I didn't bore anyone. I hope no one's sleeping. Thank you so much.
Mike is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Precious. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You know, when this thing first of all happened, I was on social media and I will go to the USA Hiding page, and you will see some few of Americans saying that why should they be responsible for your own development? A lot of them, because some Africans were ranting, they were saying that they shouldn't stop the funding like that, they shouldn't halt them, and some Americans came that why should we be responsible for your own development? Our tax should not be used to fund your development. It's our tax. They should use it for us. And in true sense, I will read and I'll be like, come, how would you even tell these people? Who are we to tell them how to spend their money? Who are we to tell them where their funds should go to? So literally, I am not seeing anything wrong in what is happening now, because we don't even have a say. You can't go and tell them that this is what makes you think is the right thing for them to come and spend on Africa. Why? Some persons will say, oh, because of the days of colonialism. We've been talking about that for a very long time. How long are we going to talk about that? I remember one of the solutions I preferred when I was in Germany. I talk about pollution. I think one of the issues we are also having in Africa, I don't know about other continents, is the fact that we don't have like a body of pollution. If we can have that, it will actually save us in time like this. So let me give you an example. So if you look at these different sectors that we say are reigning at the moment, you talk about climate, you talk about tech, do we have a body that can stand and represent us as a continent? Now, I'm not talking about country, as a continent, because you know why I'm saying that? It's built in the power of collaboration. If we can have a body that comes together to form a coalition, it will also be easy for them to draw funding locally, because the US have come and they've made us feel like family. So everybody has been so relaxed. Is there exchange programs, training, but there are also other funds that if we want to access this fund, then we need to become more strategic. We can't keep doing what we are doing in order to access this fund. We need to be strategic. So I'm giving an idea like a coalition. Can we form a coalition? Can we have a body in terms of diversity and inclusion? Can we have a body in education tech? Can we have a body in climate tech? Can we have a body in technology just itself? And if we have this body, now they will now go ahead to secure this funding and now disburse it into these different bodies. But like this other body knows that, okay, this is my own goal. This is what I'm supposed to achieve. This other body knows that this is my goal. This is what I'm supposed to achieve. So it can be evenly distributed like that. But if every small organization wants to access such funding, then it becomes impossible. And also, I will talk about the role of fellowship as well. So for individuals that run non-profits, you also need to start looking at self-development and also spreading your network to access some fellowship, because there are fellowship that also allows you to access funding. And I'm not saying, I mean continuous funding. And I think one of the opportunity that I had was that I got into a fellowship that was in 2021, the CSC fellowship. So when Bolade mentioned on Odu, I know Odu as well. We are both fellows on Bosch Alumni Network and CSC. So through that CSC, we were able to get into the Bosch Alumni Network. So the Bosch Alumni Network is like a big body of German, like different organizations come together in the German corporation to give them funds. So they disperse the fund. So if you are a fellow, you automatically get access to fund when they announce funds, it's very easy for you to get access to them. Even if another body comes there to announce that fund, but the fact that you're a fellow, you won't have to go through the stringent process. They will overlook those things for you because you're already a fellow. So you can also look at also becoming, assessing these strategic fellowships that have like body of NGOs or private firms that are funding them. So like the Bosch Network, there is also Ashoka. Ashoka too is also a very big body that have different organizations funding it. So society is every one of us. Civil society is you, it's me. And if we want civil society to develop, see, collaboration is actually key. We can't do it alone. Making donation more fun in Africa. Because believe me, you will say people don't have money. It's a lie, they have money. So if maybe we as Nigerians, maybe we as Africans or people in Asia, I don't know how it works over there, maybe we need to start thinking of how to make donation fund too. That's another funding source. What can we do? Can we make funding? Can we make donation fund? Because we can actually get this money from ourselves too. We don't even need to depend on the international body, because the truth is there is money in Africa. There is money. Problem. But we need to start having a policy that we can hold us to hold these organizations accountable. That please, what's your CSR? What are you doing? Hold one non-profit. This non-profit is doing something that is aligning. Yes, Access Bank actually has, and that's where you mentioned the Art Foundation. Art Foundation is really is doing great because of Access Bank, and it's very sustainable. See that measure. That's one very sustainable thing that we can start looking in Africa, in Nigeria as a whole. So I don't know. Is there a way we can go and hold all these other Zenith Bank? What's their CSR? What are they doing? I don't know. All these other banks, Eco Bank, and GT Bank. I know GTB does autism awareness every year, which is cool. They do GT great, interesting. But the other ones, what are they doing? And we have big organizations too. All this block industry, pure water industry. Do they have CSR? Now, if they don't have, how can we hold them accountable? Now, remember, you as one body, it will be easy for you to go and hold them. But it will be much easier if you can come together as a body, have this body of coalition to go and hold them and say, no, you don't have CSR. Well, come and fund this body that looks into education in Nigeria, that looks into education in Africa. That's also another funding source, because we have these companies there, and there are plenty. There are plenty in Africa. There are plenty, and they are making money. They are making money. So can we hold them accountable? Do we have a policy that we can use to hold them accountable? So
Celebrate all our speakers. They've really done well. They've really, really done well. I wish this session doesn't get to a close, but we just have to officialize things. Thank you so much, Ayodele Rebecca, for that insightful session. We've learned a lot. I'm just going to summarize everything that we've said. I believe that we have young change makers here that are looking forward to starting something soon, and or maybe you've even started something and then you're looking forward to funds. If there's anything that I would advise from what our people have already said, Mary started she opened the floor by saying you should have a structure. You should know what you want to do. You should know you should have a problem statement. Know what you are tackling. Yeah, we are doing social work, but what exactly are you doing? Like if they wake you up, can your team member say this is what we are doing? Yeah. Paris, she also exposed us, to how funding works and how USAID has affected a lot of things. And then, she made us understand that it's very pertinent that we look, that we as a social impact maker, we find a way to solve our problem within ourselves. Yeah. And then we have Bolade, she talks about leverage. Is there someone doing something beside you? You necessarily do not have to start something. You don't have to own an NGO. Yeah. If you have a passion to do something, you don't have to go and start out. Partner with something, leverage on their expertise, and then when you grow, you can actually take from them. By the time you are growing, they can give you resources, they can support you. Just build your credibility, build yourself, and then leverage on social media and make sure that you put yourself out there as someone who is worthy of being funded. Eventually, like Mary said, money is going to find you. And then we have Melania, leverage on social media and just do your thing, put yourself out there, and money is going to find you. And then we have Rebecca. Yeah, she really exposed she opened her eyes, including myself, to some areas that you can actually, look for funds. You don't have to restrict yourself to, and then she talked about accountability, that we should hold our people accountable. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, once again. Can we just open our video so that we can just take a group pictures together? 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so thank you so much. We are at the end of the session for now.